Bickley Hall Farm was a bit of a bust, just like an entire weekend in Wales. And I don't have a microphone on, so I'm hoping you can hear me. But let's do something with this. I think I set up in the wrong place, but I have an issue with my lens, and I will talk to you about that after I've picked up this poop. So, I wanted to have a bit of a chat, dog's stupid, about my Canon 200 to 800mm f6.3 to 9, which before I bought it I watched reviews of people who've used it. I saw the image quality, I saw all the charts about how sharp it is. Great. So I bought it, and it is great, but it's only great in very certain circumstances, and those circumstances do not include low light. I've got to be honest, this dog's giving me the runaround. So if I go out at dusk or dawn to shoot an owl or a kingfisher, or if I go out early in the morning, usually early in the morning, to try and photograph something, especially as we head into the winter months, it's going to be very, very low light conditions. And very often I'm using the maximum zoom at 800mm, and that pushes me to f9. And if I'm shooting something in a sort of underneath a tree or in a bushy area, it's pushing the auto ISO to 25,600, so I'm having to do some jiggery pokery with tripods and shutter speeds as much as I can to get that ISO down, and 9 times out of 10 I don't mind if I'm somewhere between sort of 10, if I have to push it between 10 and 16,000. AI does in Lightroom does a great job of removing the noise, but I'm beginning to think that I might be better with a 100 to 500 and a 1.4 times converter, unfortunately. So that'll give me what, f5.6 is it? F4? I think it's F4 to 7.1, I think. Yeah, I'd have to check, but so that's the issue I'm having with that lens in low light, and it is a great lens. So to address that, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to somewhere called Burton Mere, which is an RSPB site, which is not too far from where we live in Chester, and I'm going to give that a really good test in conditions like this, which are high cloud, it's overcast, but it's nice diffuse light. So as long as the sun doesn't come out, thanks Jarvis, as long as the sun doesn't come out, I should be okay to test the lens in a reasonable level of light. But for now, I'm going to give this dog some exercise. So, Burton Mere. I think my microphone's on. Lots to see here. I've just actually, as soon as I went in, there was a heron feeding. So I've managed to get some shots of the heron, which I think are okay, but I wasn't down at eye level. And I've just spoken to one of the really helpful staff there, and they've directed me towards, dare I say it, kingfishers, barn owls at the other side, and I suspect I'm going to see none of them. But there are lots of waterfowl over there on the mere, and there is apparently a small mere here which has kingfishers on, but I don't have the time today to go and sit and wait for kingfishers to appear. But I wanted to talk about something else, which is one of my customers and friend, Greg Reed, 20 years ago was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And he, as to quote him, he promptly went out and bought some Nike running shoes. And, hello. And something that you put in your shoes that Nike will track. Oh, this is good, here. And in the last 20 years, Greg has run, I believe, every day, early in the morning before work. Now, Greg is also one of my customers. He's a great guy, runs a great company. And he has a Just Giving page to raise money for diabetes. Diabetes UK, I think. And it would be great if any of you are around. Obviously, we have a diabetic dog as well, so we know what the struggles are like with diabetes. So if anyone can spare some cash to help Greg hit his target of £5,000, he's about 3,600, I think, at the moment. That noise you can hear is acorns falling off these trees and landing on the roof. So Greg has run 40,000 kilometers. It is the circumference of the Earth. He's basically run around the world in 20 years, doing a little bit every day. So if you could, I'll put the link in the description below. If any of you could give money to help for a good cause. Unfortunately, I don't think Diabetes UK help diabetic doggies, but you know, it's all a good cause. So if you can give money, that would be great. And now I'm going to try and find somewhere to photograph. Something about me and Canadian geese. Whenever I go anywhere, all I see is Canadian geese. Thankfully, this one's posing on a log, which I think is going to make a great shot. Don't know if you can see that. I can't go any further to the left because if I try and get a better angle, those branches on the left might be in the way. flurry of activity. There was a sparrowhawk on the ground, and so the RSPB guys kindly came and grabbed me and said, oh, there's a sparrowhawk in that hide over there. So, as usual, it was just at the limit of the focal range, so with a crop in you'll probably see it, but again, I don't think it's going to be a sharp photo. Let's see how good this lens is. It's performing all right in daylight. It's just the low light conditions that I think let it down. Early morning, dusk and dawn. Anyway, I'm headed to the next hide, which apparently is where all the action is. Well, this is the best hide on Burton Mere, I think. It is right next to the action. There's all kinds of geese. I've seen dragonflies, pintails, curlews, and something else that I really need to try and identify, because I'm not the best at identifying birds. Everyone else in here I was talking to knew everything. I did see the sparrowhawk, which was on the ground, again, just out of range. A lot of ducks here, a lot of ducks, a lot of geese. I was pleased to see the curlew, the pintail, and I've actually learned that I can push this lens, I can crop the sensor to 1.6 and it gives me extra reach with the lens, but because the lens is limited to f9, I'm getting f9 at, my maths ain't so good, let's see, getting f9 at 1280, which might explain why some of my in-flight shots are blurry. I'll just bump the shutter speed up a bit for that. I find it difficult through this narrow window here to be able to pan up and get the shots of the birds in flight. So most of the shots that I've got are birds on the water or coming into land. But there's a curlew right in front of me there. He's coming around, he's coming around. All kicking off over that. Anyway, so what I have found is that 200 to 800mm lens is great. If you have a full frame sensor and you can crop it, you get more reach, but don't forget to put your shutter speed up to account for that, which I learned today, especially for birds in flight. Burton Mere, RSPB, big shout out to them. They've been really, really good in helping me know the layout of the place. They talked me through the map, told me where to go. They've got some barn owl sightings, but they are on the other side of the wetlands here. So that's maybe for another day, because it's actually getting quite late now. I came out early this morning. It's 10 to 3 now. I could do this all day. But I think I'm going to end it there for this episode. I am now out for a couple of days doing some corporate work. I'll be editing this tomorrow. I'll have it out hopefully Sunday 6 o'clock, which is what I'm going to target every week. So I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, or if you watch it all the way through, that helps. So I'll see you next week.